Right. Good day. Good evening, Mitakupi, friends, relatives. We're just kind of wait for everybody to kind of slowly sign in. Imagine some of you all been waiting out there. Uh, after like holidays like this, it's hard to get back in the swing of things. You know, you just get some turkey wasted and you just want to sleep. But uh, during these times, when we're kind of relaxing and taking it easy, I try not to take a break from language. Instead, just take it easy. Just learn one word today or something. Just try or just listen to an elder on YouTube for a while today. But get familiar with words. But if you could do something. But on our lazy days, like I know for sure that's how I felt today, kind of lazy. And so instead of learning new words, practice some of the words that you already know, and something more easier. That way it's not so stressful all the time learning the language. Last week, I kind of wanted to open a little bit with this, and it's just a little bit of review on this one. Last week, we did the word ohoda, and the reason why we did that word is just kind of to help our community. These teachings here were designed to help all of us establish what you would call oneness or enlightenment, I guess is the word you could look for it. But it's really a matter of establishing a healthy relationship with yourself, doing good for yourself, making a decision to make good choices, healthy choices for yourself. And so when we decide that we're going to live a life of ohoda, if we're going to live that life, it means that we're going to be responsible for our life and let others choose how they want to live their lives. We don't get all upset about how other people are doing things. We're only going to focus on what we're doing here. And so the opposite of ohoda would be controlling. Try to be control everybody. And you tell me how fun it is. When we get controlling, you'll notice how grouchy we get. Try to control the traffic in front of you. It's impossible. Try to control how fast they go or how slow they go. It's impossible. Or, try to control people. It's very stressful. So ohoda is a way to reduce stress. And so if you want to go back into your last class, you could go back into studying that one. If you want to review, we tried doing review here, but it just didn't work out because man, it was just taking us forever to do reviews. Hold on just 1 second here, if you give me a sec. I had my word set up ready to go here. Sorry, I lost my page, but we can move on to the next word here, I suppose. Also, too, the next class, be working on this, just so you guys know. There's got a book here. You can zoom in on that one there. It's there's Dakota names for all of the plant life that we have, and actually, our grandpas believed that there was 405 medicines, and there's 405 illnesses. And so there's a teaching behind that. But a lot of the medicines that we have, I don't really know a lot of them in here yet. But hopefully we'll get a chance to put up some of the pictures of the different medicines, and then we can learn the Dakota names for them. One of them was that I know, it's a very popular plant that grows around here. They call it yarrow in Washichu, but we call it wa'o pejuta. Wa'o pejuta. Wa'o pejuta would be considered like a wound, and so wa'o. And so the wa'o pejuta, the grandpas, the warriors would take that and it would help cauterize wounds. They take the top part of the flower and they put it on wounds. And so somebody that might have like an open scab or scar that just won't heal, that's what they'll put on that. So just little things to keep in mind. I want to show different different ways of learning the language instead of just doing the same thing all the time. Just we kind of want to mix things up a little bit. Uh, PA, PA, PA. I kind of want to talk about a little bit that one. It's a word that we would use in our for doctoring or for healing. By the way, our papers are still here. If you guys want to study these, they're all kind of piling up in the corner there. But they're here if you ever want to go through them. PA or PA. It's a kind of like a word that they would use for fix, but I think they could also use it for heal, to heal something, to heal somebody. But you notice that root word, we talked about that word, that sound P. Whenever you hear that in our language and stuff, what does that word mean? It's the best way I could explain it is because I have dogs. Whenever you have a dog that's tied up, have that dog tied up all week long and then let that dog go. And you'd see that dog just happy, running around. That would be considered P. Yoke P. It's in different ways. It's a feeling of joy, grateful, glad, happy, all kinds of emotions. It's a very emotional word right there, P. So I just something to keep in mind for later on. All right. And so in this situation, our pattern here, we have the wa and the ya. It's not ma or ni this time because I'm not talking about my feelings or anything like that in this situation. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm talking about my actions. And so this is why, or my behavior, what I'm doing. So this is why you'll see the word wa. So in this situation, wa, ya. I'm doing it, wa, wa, wa. You're doing it, ya, ya, ya. Yeah. So now I'm going to fix, or I'm going to heal, I'm going to doctor, or something like that. PYA. 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 You're going to fix, I'm going to fix it, or I'm going to heal. You'd hear a medicine person say that. This person, de PYA. We chashtaki de PYA. I'm going to heal this person. But actually, the old grandpa say the medicine men actually don't heal. It's the spirit that heals through them. So just keep that in mind. PYA. 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 So I fix or I heal. That's what I'm doing. PYA. You can make this into a sentence if you want. You could put PYA. I shall heal or I shall fix. And then just talk about your noun here. You could just, in this situation, you could even use the word de. This I shall fix. De piwayek de. De. So a lot of these here we could, with the other words that we learned, de, he, hana, dena, you can make sentence out of these ones already. Go back into the other, I think it's like the second class. I think we talked about those words, de, hana, ish. And so in this situation, ya, so I'm not doing, so I'm going to get rid of that wa. Now I'm going to do the ya. P. Ya. Yeah, P-I. 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 And in this, a lot of times in our P was usually a PB. B, but this one is an actual P. It's the actual sound of P. P-Y. P-Y. P-I. P-I. So now I'm not going to, these are just one person here talking about myself. This is just one person here talking to Randall. I guess if you say, one of the things that you can do for our community, by the way, for a relative, is listen to them. That's a good way to heal somebody. Just sit down and listen to them. You don't have to preach to them or tell them anything. Just listen. And so if you do that, PIA, you're going to heal that person. You're going to fix that person just by listening to them. So keep that in mind. So anyway, this is myself and one individual. Now we're going to talk about you and a few of you guys that are fixing it. Yeah. And then we'll switch this yeah to ya. P-I-ya. 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 Here's that little trick there. This one is a P right here, this sound, P. This one turns into a little PB at the end. P-I-ya. P-I-ya. B. 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 P-I-ya. B. B. It's not a P, nor is it a B. It's a mixture in between, somewhere halfway in between. PB, B, 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 B. And by the way, these writings don't have to be that way. Just a reminder, if you want to write it like this at the end, that's up to you, right? That's up to you to remind you how that works. We were talking about our writing is just, this is all new. So this is not an ancient law. It's a new law. It's a new rule. So writing is up to you, however you want to do that. So sometimes, you know how when I say wah, my actions, your actions, in this situation, it's going to go back to an ooh. There's for those of you guys that need reminding, when I have that little nose on my end right here, I'll draw a little nose like that. That means your nose has to vibrate. So if you have a hard time making your nose vibrate when you're talking about these words, hum for a little while. Hum through your nose. And so we'll do that for, I'm in this situation, I'm pretty much two people are talking, and I'll be talking to Randall here, and it said, we're gonna fix this. De piunye, 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 piunye. So it's a you and I word. You and I. Is a you and I. Us. And so, yeah, I'm going to say that's Sioux Valley. We're going to fix Sioux Valley as if we need to know how to live for that deadly. Fix my community. Well, we can always try. Actually, that's a collective. How do I heal my community? How do I heal my community? I go home and heal myself. That's where it starts. And then if you do that, you go home, heal yourself, and you go home, heal yourself, you go home, heal yourself. Now nobody needs to heal each other. We're all healing ourselves, but we all help each other. Piunya. So, let's do the you and I, plus Unka Ozzy, plus cousin here, all of us here. Piunya. Pi. Piunya. Keep in mind, you guys, I like to use words that are really positive. Learn the most positive words. So you'll notice if you go through all of your notes, and if you go through all the words that we've been working on, it has a degree of positive energy with it. Because the language has to be positive. Right at the end of this, we'll teach all the The hate words. Just kidding. But in the beginning, though, we're going to keep it all positive. That's the best way to learn. It's the only way to learn. Otherwise, geez, we'll just be negative, grouchy, you know. It won't even be fun. We want to have it nice and fun. Because there's healing in the language. Pi-un-ya-pi. 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 Like I said before, imagine yourself, how do you want to fix this? Imagine you're talking to one person and you say, you and I plus the rest of the family are going to fix this situation, right? Yeah. So you and I plus all of us. That's the scenario. If you're going to say this one, pi-un-ya-pi. That's the scenario you'd be talking. So you're talking to Unkan Azi and you're telling him, you and I and everyone else. Now, if you're just talking to him, you get rid of that one. Yeah, or yeah, pi-un-ya. But now that you're going to add you and I plus all of us, we're going to fix it. Pi-un-ya-pi. 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 Here's a scenario. You go to a healing place, and you see a bunch of men and women over there. They're fanning people down, doctoring them, praying that they get fixed, praying that they get healed up. And so you're telling somebody else in this situation, piapi. So you're telling somebody that they're doing some healing or they're fixing something over there. Chanku piapi, they're fixing the road, you can say. Yeah, it doesn't have to be just healing. It could be fixing the road or something. We did study. We did, right? Man, wow. Holy. We're really, really getting along pretty good. Piapi. So this one's a really good one to help you distinguish the different ways of seeing these two different versions of these B and P. P and B. Piapi. 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 Oh, I pushed a button. Did I turn it off? That good? That's good. Piapi. Piapi. So here's our, and so you'll notice, again, I don't use much English on here. I don't try to write English, but you can write little notes on your own paper that this word here means happy, glee, healed, fixed, restored. Restored might be a nice word to use for that one as well. P. So that's why we're talking about with one word in Dakota could mean so much. One little sound like that, so powerful. Our language really is powerful because it's just amazing how one sound like that can put your mind all over the place, you know, different areas. So, yeah, that's a real good word right there to learn. P-Y. Yeah. Little story about that. It was an old man, long story short, old man, he said, I want to change the world. So he decided he wanted to be president of America or something like that. And then he realized he couldn't change the world, couldn't change things. So he said, I'm going to go back to my city. I'm going to move back to my city, and I'm going to change my city. He went back, and he couldn't do too much there. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go home and try and fix up my family. Now, this time, he's getting to be about 60. Went home. He couldn't even help his family. And then later on, by about 70s, he finally realized the only person I could have fixed was myself. So that was a big story I remember hearing. That helped me change myself. I was like, I can't fix everybody, but I can fix myself, and I could in turn, I'll be a good relative for others. You know, one of the things that we lose as adults is this is a sh sound. If you want to write this this S to the on a dot on is equivalent to this for me. So just in case you're wondering, sh. So this S with the dot, I'm going to repeat that. S with the dot on top is the SH sound. So shkate, shkate. And that's a TD, by the way, in this front, de, shkate, shkate. You'll notice I'm not saying shkate, 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 shkate. Real important word if you're playing in sports. You know, this is gonna be because this is the word for play, play. Shkate, 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 shkate. It's so easy to go into kind of like the slang, shkate, you know, sometimes shkate, 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 shkate. Or you could do shkata. Past tense, hey, shkata, shkate. They're doing it right now, shkate, shkata. They played. Shkata, they played. Shkate, playing or playing it in present sense, in a presence happening right now. Shkate. So here's our rule. I'm doing an action again, so it's going to be a wa. If it said mashkate, it doesn't make sense. It means I am play. You know, it doesn't make sense. So it's just I am doing play. So this is going to be the wa, and of course the ya, wa and ya. Washkate, I play. Washkate. I don't know how to say baseball in Dakota, but baseball, washkate. I play baseball. Baseball, washkate. 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 And remember, when you're practicing these words, always in this situation, you're going to just tell somebody, I'm playing. I'm playing. So that's in this scenario, you're just making a statement. I'm playing. Washkate. 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 Washkate, yeah. Washkate do. I'm playing. I am playing. The word I am in this situation would be the wa. Washkate. Washkate. So, I guess you guys can imagine. Randall, see if you can guess how to say the next one. Good try. Yashkate. You're playing. This is just our rule here. Wa, I'm doing it. Ya, you're doing it now. Washkate, yashkate. 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 So you see a young boy there playing the Xbox, you could say, Taku yashkate. What are you playing? Kids that are playing that, they're saying, on the Xbox, washkate, I'm playing. COD, washkate. Call of Duty. Our we gotta do our our us. Beautiful. It's nice hearing you guys in here. Those of you that are saying it out loud, unshkate, 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 unshkate. Or if you're playing a musical instrument, correct? You could say play it like that. Yeah. Guitar, washkate. I play the guitar. Washkate. Shkate. So yeah, this is that us. But keep in mind, put yourself in this scenario here. This is me telling one person here, unshkate, unshkate. So imagine yourself, whenever you say this one, you're talking to one person. And you're telling them, we're playing unshkate, unshkate. Now that it's getting easier, let's like, hey, let's go, let's go. But I imagine some of them out there, they're still cramming. I know for me too. If I can do this one, we'd be done one every 10 seconds or 20, real quick. But I always got to remember to take our time, slow things down. Like I say, we got whole till springtime to get all these done. Hey, like a lot to learn. One word at a time. Our same situation. This de will turn to da. Pi. Unshkatapi. Unshkatapi. So in this scenario, you're looking at one person. You and I and everyone else are playing. Unshkatapi. Unshkatapi. Because B here means 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 1,000 more people. Unshkatapi. 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 Hope you guys are going through your notes throughout the week. I really hope you're doing that. I encourage you guys to go through your notes, even just once, reading them over once really fast. You don't have to sit there for 4 hours. Just say it at home real quick, just to keep it going, keep it going. You don't have to take up all your time. Like I say, you could even take this one, and then now I'm going to go for a walk, and you'll see me walking down the road. Washkate, 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 saying it over and over and over. Yashkate, yashkate, pretending I'm talking to somebody. You're playing, you're yashkate, yashkate. And you just keep doing it over and over and over. Repetition, 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 repetition. The only reason why I say that, because if we just practice here just in class, guaranteed, 100% you'll forget all this. And you'd be like, oh, I went to class all winter long. Josh, I don't even know. And it's why. Right, yeah. And converse. Yeah, yeah. And even if you have no friends, and like some of us have no friends, you make a puppet. And the puppet can be the response, Yeah. Yashkate, ho, ho, washkate do, ho. He's replying to you. Hey, are you playing? Ho, washkate do. Yes, I'm playing. Ho, washkate do. Yeah. Walking down the road like that. People will be saying, oh, shika. They'll be saying, pa tokacha. Yeah. Pa tokacha. Mind is kind of somehow. I said, no, he's learning his language. Oh, okay. He must be a part of that class there with Randall. That's all of those guys over there. Their minds are going somehow. Hmm. Ushkatapi. So again, in this situation, you and I and all of us are playing here. Yeah, yeah. And so now we're gonna imagine your situation. You're telling somebody that they're playing over there at the rink or somewhere. So I'm telling Randall, somebody is over there. They're shkatapi, 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 shkata, shkatapi. I remember when I first started learning, sometimes one word, half hour. Then I forget it. So I go back again, one word. I don't know how long it took me to learn the word henach. Still, henach. Oh my gosh, henach. How do you say it again? I have to ask 1,000 times. Hanach, hanach, hanach. Okay, hanach. Walking around. Hanach, 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 hanach. Still, hanach nishtima. Are you still sleeping? Like that. Hanach. Man, that took me a long time. Washkata. Washkate. Yashkate. Ushkate. Ushkatapi. Shkatapi. All right, so we got that one down. Playtime, real good one for the kids over there at the school, or for the teachers to know that word over at the Head Start. This is one of my favorite words that I learned in the beginning. A lot of times, when somebody asks you, how are you doing? A lot of times we usually just say, good, but this is a word, I guess you can say, for wellness, to be well. Is there any other examples we can use aside for well? I'm doing well, I'm okay, I'm good. Dayan. And so you'll notice in this word that I'm not saying tayan. There's a D in there a little bit. So it's a TD on that one. Man, that's a pretty good thing. That really helped me with all these, because how do you know if it's a t or a t? That was a real struggle for me, but that really helped me. Danya. And so the reason why I'm bringing up this is so we can just to remember that now I am doing well. I'm not doing well, but I am doing well. So this is where the my sense, myself, my being, ma. So I'm not talking about my actions anymore here when I talk about ma or ni. It's my feelings or how I am. Mataya. Mataya. Ya. Mataya. So it's a tokedyao. Mataya. I am well. Mataya. Mataya do. Mataya, yeah. Mataya. Mataya. You don't hear it too often, hey? Is there a reason why we don't hear it too often? Kind of sounds off, hey? Yeah. Diane Wa'u. That's the other Ray. Yeah. Diane Wa'u. That's the other version we heard about. Let's put that version in here too. And so, and this is one version of saying in Mataya. I've heard this correct, but hardly used. So let's put this in a box and let's make another version of it. Diane Wa. We talked about this word wa'u, I am, earlier already. I am. Dayan wa'u. That's what you would say tomato, right? So some people would say tomato sounds off. It doesn't sound right. Say tomato. And some people say tomato sounds off. Say tomato. But yeah, this sounds right to me. Dayan wa'u, because that's what I've always heard. Dayan wa'u. We used to hear Unka say that. Dayan wa'u do. Toke diao. Unka. Dayan wa'u. I am well. Or well, me am. Dayan wa'u. Well, me am. Dayan wa'u. Certain words like this I always like to ask, because to me too, sometimes it just doesn't sound right, but what do I know? I'm just learning too. Nita. Again, this will be, and then we'll put this another version here again. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Hey, I want to rewrite this one. My marker's giving out. Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Dayan ya'u. Ni daya is the same thing as dayan ya'u. You are well. You are well. Those maple bugs I was sleeping with, about 4 of them last night, kept crawling all over me. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Dayan ya'u. I'll just let him do that. We'll start a new one then, I guess, eh? Or what? Okay, you fix that. Yeah. Right. I would say that those of us that are trying to keep our language going, those of us that are showing up to language, I know Tiwahe is having a language class tonight as well. Um, we would consider you the new warriors of today, bringing the culture back, keeping it going. I just think about that. How's our powwows going to sound in 50 years? Just all English, barely any Dakota. That kind of worries me when I think about those kind of things. So maybe one of these days we'll do a words you'd hear at a powwow. Yeah, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Nitayapi. How would we say that when if we were to yeah. Nitayapi. So yeah. And so well, we're gonna put these. This is one version of saying it here. There might be a family that's in our community that said, "Yeah, my uncle used to say it that other way. How he's saying it there. That's a long time ago. It's nice to hear it that way." Somebody might say, "Yeah, yeah, 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 Yeah. By elders. Elders usually say that because they're all, yeah. Hong Kong Ozzy was telling us it's usually elders that say this because they're always more concerned about others and how. Because it says a lot about us young people. Hey, we're a little bit selfish, and then as we get older, we're more concerned about others. And maybe that's why elders are a little bit more happier too, because I know the more you care about others, it seems you get more happier somehow. Seems that way. Yeah. So this will be a situation where we're saying, I'm telling you, and you guys are all well. Ni taya pi, taya ya pi. Everybody else, taya ya pi, or ni taya pi. But we'll practice this one more. Taya ya pi, taya ya pi. So ya is, remember, I'm one person telling this to Randall. The ya is I'm acknowledging him first. I'm acknowledging you first. And the pi means I'm adding all of you, the rest of you now. Daya ya pi. This part right here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's some dialects. What we hear is in the community, some certain people would say da yan, and they would just not this tung da yan. Yeah, they would just take the. So ask your kushi, ask your auntie or whoever, and ask your family how they would say that. It's a real interesting those little rules like that. Anytime there's a rule like that where there's a little change, I would put a little star and just make a little note that some families say "dayan," some families say "dayan," some families say "dayan," "dayan," "dayan." So just make a little note like that for references in the future. Could be Dakota, Nakota, right? Ihang tuan, Sisi tuan, Wakpe tuan, little differences, yeah. Yeah. Dayan. Dayan. All right. I'm gonna have the on this one. This is a new one for me here, this word I'm learning. So how do we do this one? Okay. Untaya. That one's correct. That's how we would do that. Untaya. So in this situation, you and I here, we're talking to each other. I'm telling you, untaya, you and I are well. Yeah, you were okay. Untaya. 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 Untaya kite. That scene off of Wayne's World. We're gonna be okay. It's okay. We're gonna be okay. But you could say that. Untaya kite. That's a real good thing. Could take one of some of your favorite movies and like a movie where you know all the lines on that movie and write down those words on that movie, bring that here, and Ungan will help translate them, put them into Dakota. So next time you're watching those movies, you'll say, I know how to say all these words in Dakota. My favorite movie here. Untaya. Any way to make it more fun and more individualized to how you learn, right? And so whatever passion you have, like my son's here is interested in shooting, like guns and all that. So there should be all of the vocabulary for that situation there. Different scenarios. So that's one of the what we're offering here with what we're doing. It's not just the lessons here, but it's also we could add help you different ways. Yeah. So now I'm just going to talk about in this situation. So I'm telling you, we are well, and everybody else as well. So that's just real easy to fix. To put that one together. Utaya. Beat. Just gotta add that beat. Utaya pi. Utaya. Utaya pi. Utaya pi. Utaya pi. I would say coming to language too is kind of like a stress reliever. Hey, gets you away from your world. Chance to just focus on language. Put all your problems away for a side. They'll be there when you. They said put them all away. They'll be there when you're ready for them. Your problems. Pack them away. And learn language. Dayampi. So now I'm going to tell a situation. How are they doing over there? Dayampi. They're well. Dayampi, what we would say on that one, right? I've heard that one. I'm getting myself confused here. What did I say? Yeah. Here's this version, Dayampi, but we'll say Dayan. Put these in a box, these ones. These box ones means there's a different version of saying that. Umpi. They are. Dayan Umpi. They are well. Dayan Umpi. Dayan Umpi. Dayan Umpi. Dayan Umpi. Right. If you're not well, you could add the word shni at the end. Real simple. How are you doing? Shni. I'm not doing well. Yeah. Shni. 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 They're real simple how you could make a change on that whole. Or I will be well. I'll be well. Do one more and then take a little break. Yeah. I often wondered, when I was learning words, like what are our loving words? When we care for something, when we really value something, when something's really means something, and the word came up, techinda, techinda, and it's kind of a word to really cherish. I guess cherish would be the closest word to, if you really value something, if you really, really value something's really, really important. I can tell you, mazaskat tewachinda. I really cherish money myself. Just kidding. Money means more. I was talking about that, what money means. Some people say, oh, they always want money. No, they don't want money. They want experiences. They want a chance to go to Brandon. They want a chance to go to Winnipeg. Money doesn't mean money. It means experiences. And a nice pair of shoes. It means good things. It's usually what the money means. So I never judge people for wanting money, because I think it just means they want to live when they want money. So different people cherish different things. Hey, everybody. Techinda. Now, so this one is a hard one. So we'll practice this a little bit for those of us that are learning. Oh my goodness, that's a good one there. So your nose is. Let's get your nose vibrating here. Got to practice it up. That's the sound that we're going to make on that one. And a lot of us know that. Sometimes you get cold. I used to hear. I used to hear that sometime, long time ago. Put your toe in the water. They'll say it like that. You don't hear that too often now, but I used to hear it all the time when I was a little kid, when something was cold, and so that's the sound that we have to make. So if you're having a hard time with that sound, you could just go walking around going for a while, and then later on we're gonna add the to the front of it. You gotta speak from down here, push it down here. Those of us that grew up in Sioux Valley, we say cha a lot, so that's why we don't struggle with this one. We can pick it up real quick. Cha. Tejinda. 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 You'll hear this in a lot of songs, like honor songs, I've noticed. So keep in mind when there's an honor song, you're gonna hear this word. Uncle Ozzy and I heard a song from Uncle Eli, sung a long time ago, and we'll make that song available here because, man, you know what? I'm so happy that some of our grandpas were rebels. I'm so happy. They didn't listen to authority. They told them, you can't, Dakota shnipo. They tell them, don't be Dakota. Washichu po. They're telling them. They're commanding them to be Dakota, but some of them said, no, 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 no. I'm not going to do that. And they'll say, Dakodwi chochan te wachinda. I cherish our Dakota ways. Te wa da. Get the wa. So I'm actively cherishing it. Like I'm doing it. Te wa chinda. So anything that you cherish, you can put this in front there. Shichecha. Te chinda. The children. I've heard some people say Wakainja out here in Sioux Valley too, which chances are, if some of the families that say Wakainja, there might be a Lakota influence in there. Tituan, because I know all of them down there, that's what they say, Wakainja. It's like saying a sacred light, or there's a light within the children, holy light, but that's a nice way to say children as well. But te wa chinda. 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 Te yachinda. Now you cherish. Value Village, Teachinda. You really cherish that place. Teachinda. 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 Like I always say this when you're practicing these words, yes, it's true. Be saying them, but put yourself in those scenarios. So because you're telling somebody, picture yourself taught. I always say even picture a close person you love and cherish, because the more emotion you'll put into learning, the more you'll learn. There's a study that shows people will never remember what you say. They remember how you make you feel. People don't remember what we say so much, but it's how we make them feel. And so this is why our language, there has to be feeling involved in there. So this is why you're telling a certain situation. Maybe your takoja has a little bear, a little toy bear or something, like a doll or something, and that doll has a name. And then so you can give that little doll's name is Teddy. Teddy Teachinda. Teddy Teach. You cherish Teddy, your toy teddy bear. Teachinda. And so put yourself in those situations while we're practicing it. Teachinda, teachinda, teachinda. So when my eyes are closed like this, I'm talking to somebody in my mind. Teachinda, 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 teachinda. But if you're just going to be practicing the word teachinda, teachinda, teach, looking at the lights in here, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. You got to put it in real life scenarios in order for us to get it into our bones. And so now in a situation, you were just talking to your takoja about how much they cherish the bear, but now you're talking to two of the takojas that are sitting there. But you're more focused on talking to one, and you're telling that one person that you all cherish whatever it might be. Teachindapi. 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 So again, put your mind there. You're talking to one person, but you're telling them you and two or three or four or five or six or a whole bunch of you all are cherishing something. I know I do. Sure cherish that coffee. Teachinda. Teachindapi. Teachindapi. If you want to do it, break it down. Use your teachindapi. Teachindapi. Techinda. Teachindapi. You and everyone else cherish it. Teachindapi. As soon as his wife showed up, he just lost distraction. That's real love right there. Just teachindapi. 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 Teuchinda. So now, situation here, in this scenario, you have to imagine yourself telling somebody else, we cherish Tim Hortons teuchinda, teuchinda. Hokshida kinde teuchinda. We cherish this child here. Hokshida kinde teuchinda, teuchinda. Our children, teuchinda. You and I, we cherish our children. Teuchinda. 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 I found out there's going to be a test after all of this, and if you get it, then you get a free trip to England. Yeah, we'll go over there and we'll show her. Look at this. I decolonized. And we'll talk. This is what it is. Decolonization. This is yeah. That's exactly what it is. I always thought, what does that mean, colonization? It's just, you're part of a colony, right? And the colony has certain rules that you have to follow, and you have to talk English in that colony. You have to know, you have to make lots of money. You have to be this and that, all those rules that you have to have. But when we go back into Dakota law, Dakota words, then that's decolonizing ourselves from the colony, right? And we're going back into the Dakota camp. Because I cherish our Dakota camp. Teunchinda. You and I, Teunchinda, we cherish that. Teunchinda. We Teunchinda our culture, our Dakota Wichocha. Actually, you'll hear that a lot. Dakota Wichocha. Teuachinda. Our way of, Dakota is short for Dakota. Wichocha is like a way of life. Wichocha. It's a way of doing things, right? Wichocha. Dakota Wichocha. Our way of life, our Dakota way of life, I cherish it. Dakota Wichocha. Tewachinda. I cherish the Dakota way. Tewachinda. Tewachinda. I cherish. Teuchinda. We cherish. We cherish. Teuchinda. 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 Now, you and I are talking. I'm just you and I, but now I'm going to say all of us. You and I and everyone, so I just had to have that be. Teunchindapi. Teunchindapi. So imagine in this scenario, you're telling one person, you and I, we cherish, and everyone else we cherish. You and I and all. Teunchindapi. 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 When we had little classes there with Washichu kids, well, man, those little kids, Teunchindapi, Washichu kids, it's real cool. It's like, man, you guys sound like Sioux Valley in here. Teunchindapi. That's what I was talking about when I talk with the students at the high school. There's a lot less fear in a Washichu classroom. Dakota classrooms, there's a lot of fear in there. That's one thing we gotta remove that. It happens when we sit there and just stare at somebody when they're walking in, mean or whatever, or if they know we judge or we don't have waushida, then we make each other afraid. That's one thing we're trying to do. We're trying to stop that in our classes here, so we all feel good coming. So, Teunchindapi. So you and I and everybody else, we all cherish Tim Hortons. And so now I'm telling you that there's a group of 6 or 7 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, they cherish Tim Hortons. So Teunchindapi. I don't know. I used to draw little cartoons like this. Like, here's me, and I'm telling this person right here about this group of people over here. 2 or 3. So, exactly. And that's one of the things that I've always said. All y'all. That's really how it's like saying that in a sense. All y'all. Teunchindapi. All y'all. All of them. But in this situation, I'm telling this person about these people that cherish over there. That I'm talking about this group right here. Teunchindapi. And then I don't know who they are. I don't know what their names are. I don't know who they're. So I just call them henna. They. I don't know who they are, right? So because henna techindapi, they cherish. Henna, they. Uh, Dakota chocha techindapi. Henna Dakota chocha techindapi. They, the Dakota way of life, they cherish it. Techindapi. 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 All right. Techinda, to cherish. Tewachinda. Tewachinda, I cherish. Teachinda, you cherish. Teachindapi, you and everyone else cherish. Teuchinda, you and I cherish. Teuchinda, Teuchindapi, you and I and everyone cherish. Techindapi, they cherish. Yeah. So yeah. Do you know? So yeah. It's no hasapa when they talk. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? They'll say, know what I'm saying? They'll say something, you know what I'm saying? So Dakota goes, storia, storia, storia. You know? You know? Storia. 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 But yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break, just a little bit of a pause. Gather yourself. If you want to converse amongst each other in the family. And I hear there's kids watching, so hello, kiddies. Hello. Good vibes to you. There's teenagers watching. Keep in mind, I think some of us, we read the comments that are in there. So if you want to post something and if you have a question for us in here, this is totally supposed to be interactive. We're supposed to all do this together. So if you guys have any questions or comments, and maybe even you heard your kunshi say certain things, you go ahead and make that comment on there. Man, we try to get everybody communicating, talking with each other here. So important to visit and talk about language and all these different things. So with that, we'll take a 10 minutes smoke break, food break, coffee break, whatever break we have. Oh, Or online. Just like Wayne's Grill. Well, that's what Elton was doing. Just like Wayne's were 5, 4. How many people do we have online today? Do you know? Usually we have a magic number 16. 6. Oh my goodness. Dogyapia. Where'd they all go? Powwowed out. Yeah. Yeah. All right. This was a really, really important word for me to learn. Yuhe or yuha. Man, I'd realize how important that word was. Um, Especially those people that are pipe carriers, they use that word chanupawa yuha mani, like yuha mani, to walk with, to have something. Hey yuha mani, they walk with that, with, to have it or to carry it or to have it with you. Yuha yuhe. And especially if you have money or something in your possession, like that. So it's going to be a very, very, very important word. Those of you that are very familiar when we ask for chandi, duha, chandi duha. So we'll talk about that. That word will come up in a little bit. Duha, duha, yuhe. Yuhe is to have. Yuhe. But here's a real interesting situation. I always talked about myself in terms of wa or ma, but this time it's going to be this one here. Badoo, badoo, badoo. So that's something that, in terms of myself, you'll hear it later on, like badoo jaja and different ways. We'll talk about that word a little bit down the road. But if you want to, you can go into this book and look up all the badoo words, and you'll notice there's a whole bunch in there. It's a very popular word, badoo. So this situation, badooha. Badooha. Deadly wrist shot, badoohado. Or I would say badoohe. I had. Badoohe. Badoohe. I have right now. Badoohe. Mazaska badoohe. I have money. Like they could use that. Very popular, important word. If there's a lot of words you should say, this is a real good one to practice because you'll hear it a lot. Badoohe. Because we're always wondering what people have, right? Like, how much do you have? Like, what do you have? How much do you have? There's going to be so many ways you're going to say this sentence later. Badoohe. Badoohe. I have. Badoohe. Deadly wrist shot. Badoohe. But if you're talking about something that you had back then, you'd say badooha. 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 Badoohe. 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 Badoo, 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 badoo. Not too often that's in the English language. Badoo, 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 badoohe, 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 badoohe. I take it for granted because I've been saying this word now since I was 15. And so sometimes I take it for granted, but I know some of you guys, this is probably the first time you're saying this word, badoo. It's a new one, badoo, badoohe, badoohe. I have, badoohe, badoohe, badoohe. This time, instead of, there's you, it changes from you to badoo to now it's going to go do. Doohe. Doohe. When it's always good. Those of you that are here actually saying it back to me. When those of you guys that are here, You guys are giving me ideas on how much we need to say it. Because remember, with Dakota, it's easier to say do he. That's wrong. Do he, right? So that's why if you keep saying it back, if I hear it wrong, in a sense, I'll never say, "Hey, you're saying it wrong." Instead, you'll hear, I'll just keep saying it more and more and more. If you notice, if you guys are saying this word, and if I hear it needs adjusting, you'll notice I'm going to say it longer and longer and longer. So that's why I really appreciate those of you that are coming here, because you guys give me an insight on how long we need to stay on these words, or do we move on real quick? Yeah. So b'duhe, not b'duhe, 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 duhe, b'duhe, duhe, b'duhe, duhe, b'duhe, duhe, and keep saying it out loud over and over and over. This one here, it's like you'll hear it later on, b'dujaja, like washing. If you something your action where it's like self-oriented. I have, so b'duha, I have. Do is you. It normally would have been the wa, right? That's how we had it before, wa. And this one would have been kind of like ya or you, but or the other one was ma for myself, and this one's ma, but this one's b'du. B'du. There was a guy, he was just joking around. You know how there's a lot of guys, we're at the Sundance, and there's some guys who say, "Oh, I'm so sacred, I'm just powerful." And he said, they were saying, "I'm going to bless this drum off." He said, give it to me. He said, "I'll make it sacred," like kind of like that. I was like, wow, how can you do that? You're just a common man. Yeah, I'll make it sacred. In other words, I'll do it. So, yeah, you see me walking around blessing the land. I'm blessing the land. I'm making it sacred. But like sometimes I'm gonna make this different. Like if I have something, I'm gonna make it different. B'du toksha, you could say it like that. B'du toksha. I'm gonna make it different. That's another example. But like I said, if you want to with these words, if you want to go in deeper on there, you'll go in here. You'll see about maybe 20 examples of them, of how you could use those words. And once you start to get an idea of the different examples, you'll really get a feeling of what that word means in that situation. So you have, he or she has, b'duhe, I have. Duhe, you have. Coca-Cola, wanji duhe. You have one Coke. Coca-Cola. Duhe. Duhe. Oops. Dyslexia kicking in. Do happy. Do happy. So you have it. You have a Coke. So I'm going to give everybody else a Coke. What else? Everybody a book. Woapi. Woapi. Wanji du ha bi. All of you guys have a book. Yeah. Now if it was just one, woapi wanji du ha. Or du he. Woapi wanji du he. You have a book. But now we're going, you have a book, you have a book, you have a wanji du ha. What was you do happy? You guys all have a book, in other words. You all, y'all, do happy. Do happy, yeah. Do happy. 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 So when I say do hoppy, I know a lot of you guys are saying it right behind me. Do hoppy, 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 do hoppy. That's how you learn. That's why I'm saying it. I say it, you repeat. I say it, you repeat. If you keep doing like that, we'll get real. It'll sound real good. Do hoppy, do hoppy. One of my favorite words, unyuhe. Oh man, I thought this. So you and I have unyuhe. Well, my favorite one is unyuhapi. That one was always my favorite. We'll talk about that one a little bit, but unyuhe. So you and I have something. If I had a Coke, unyuhe. You and I have a Coca-Cola. Unyuhe, unyuhe. There's a nasal one. Unyuhe, 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 unyuhe. See how that song goes? Unyuhe, unyuhe. Do hoppy. Do hoppy. Do hoppy. Do hoppy. Do hoppy. Do hoppy. I can't whistle. That's why God said I can't whistle at dark time, even over in the house. He said, no, you still can't whistle, he said. So, huh? What's that? Is that a U there? This one? No, the second one. That. Huh? Yeah, it's a U. Unyuhe. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Well, you and I. So you and I, so it'll be two people. So you just, yeah, it'll be, imagine just talking, you're one person talking to another person, telling them that both of you guys, two of you guys have something. And so what are we talking about? We could even just use the word he, that. He unyuhe, we have that. He unyuhe, we have that. He unyuhe, unyuhe. Where I learned this word was when Unka and them, they talk about we have a pipe. Chanupawa unyuhapi. We have a pipe. Unyuhapi. I used to hear that. That's where I first learned that word. And I was like, man, that's a real nice word. Oops. That's a U, y'all. That's right here, the word U. Unyuhapi. So now I'm telling Randall, you and I and everyone here, we have this. We could even use that. Chanupa wa unyuhapi. We have a pipe. Unyuhapi. 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 Sounds like a train. Unyuhapi. 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 So you and I and everyone else, we all have something. You happy. So now I'm in this situation. I'm talking about you and I. I'm telling you situation. They have something. Hena mazaska you happy. They have money. You happy. You happy. Hena means them. Mazaska, money, they have. You happy. I always used to hear, actually, I used to hear that. Are you going to go to Brandon? Let's go to hockey, huh? Used to hear. If I have money. Gihan is a word if. Yeah, like if, yeah. Gihan. I used to hear that. Mazaska Baduaki, huh? If I have money, I'll go, you know. Mazaska. Maska, they'll shorten it. Maska Baduhaki, huh? If I have money, you happy. So this situation here, uh, I'm just talking about they have it over there. You happy. Mazaska, you happy. They have money. If they don't have money, Mazaska, you happy. Mazaska, you happy. Mazaska, you happy. You happy. You happy. Where else I learned this word? Chanupa iwan you ha hoyewaye. I send my voice with the pipe. I've heard that like that before. Most of my learning actually first times came through the songs. Learning the songs. That's how I learned in the beginning. Yeah. All right. Now we got our words down for you he. You he, you ha. B'du he. I have. Do he. You have. Do happy. You and everybody else has. You he. You and I have. You happy. You and I and everybody else has. You happy. They have. They have it. Moving on. How many we got online now? Still 6? Those of you that are coming online and like daily, like always being here, showing up, I always say those of you guys, we need to honor you guys in the future because you guys are so important to our culture. Bringing our culture back, it's so, so important. We cherish you. Those of you that are bringing your culture back because right now it's the Washichu culture is pretty powerful. And they say the reason why we prefer Washichu culture because it's easier. It's easier. It's harder to be Dakota, more difficult. You know, it's to have the good frame of mind, the good heart, and all that stuff. It gets pretty hard to do that after a while. Sorry, I lost my pace here. Why did I put that? To think about it or to try to do something. This is a word I didn't really. I used to hear it a lot, but it took me a long time because I used to think it meant to want something or to desire something. Awachi, awachi. But I'll show you guys a little hint on this something here. Ah, wa, chi. This word right here is the act of desire. Chi, chi. If it was a dot on the bottom, it'll be an explosive. Ch, but this one is just a soft chi, chi, awachi, awachi. To think about or to try. Awachi. So when you have something that's on something, like we talked about that word for mold, you'll notice that word for mold, or the word for upon something, akan. For bread, on top, burn, yeah, it goes, pi, on top, burn, guyapi. And so we have this word, it's always taught, not in always situations, all situations, but it often refers to something that's on top of something. We even have the word for aya. Is to bring something. You put something on you and you bring it. If I brought something, I'll put it on my back like that and bring it to you. So and then I'm coming, So naturally, when you have thoughts in your mind, usually it's desires, right? when you're thinking about something. So it's like you have desires on your mind. It's like you have something on your mind, right? Awachi. It's you have some thoughts of needs, something like that. But usually when you're thinking, that's usually what's going on. Is you have something I want. I'm thinking about that $100 that I want, or you're thinking about something, right? And so that's why you'll notice a lot of times if you have something on you or in on your mind or something like that, you'll notice these characteristics. Awachami. It's real interesting. Ooh, getting hot. Awachami. Awachami. I think about. So how do we talk about wabaduksha? Ibaduksha. To think about, that's the same thing almost, right? But that's probably where that chunk comes in here. We'll probably talk about that a little later. I don't want to confuse myself. I'll confuse everybody. Awachami. I think about. Awachami. 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 This situation myself here is going to be, we talked about how it changes from ma to ni, but sometimes you'll hear this, instead of saying ma, it'll say me, like mie, for example. Awachami, awachami, awachani, awachani. Now you're thinking about it. Whoops. Awachani, you're thinking. Awachani, 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 awachani. Sorry, guys, I keep walking around. You see me pacing around here. It's hard for me to sit still. Awachani. Actually, when I study, I can't sit still like that. You'll see me walking around all the time with the book. I can't just sit there. I got to move around. Awachani. I think. So this situation, or you think, ni is going to be you. Ni. Awachani. Ni is the you part. Awachani. 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 So you're thinking, awachani. 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 Chun. I have a chun in there. Awachani. 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 Beep. You and a couple more are thinking now. We just had to add a few people. Awachanipi. 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 Awachani. Awachanipi. 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 That's interesting. Remember how before we always use that word unki for us? This will be a little bit different here. There's always rules that change. I remember when I was talking to Uncle, he says, oh, it's a hard language to learn. When I was telling him about these little changes, how come those change? And sometimes they don't even have the answers. It's thousands and thousands of years of our language developing, and so it'll be nice to sit down in an advanced class one of these times and have those deep discussions on why these things change. With talk with linguistics, and I'll discuss all these words later on. Unkawachi. Unkawachi. Sound right? Unkawachi. Unkawachi. I never said that in my life. You and I are thinking. How often we say that? You and I are thinking. You and I, unkawachi. 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 Wachi. Chi. Chi. Make your nasals vibrate there. Unkawachi. 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 So just imagine the scenario in this. You're talking to somebody and you're telling them, we're thinking. Unkawachi. 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 Real simple. Now it's going to add more people to the mix now. Or one more or whatever. However more. Unkawachi. Unkawachi. That would be kind of cool to say it loud, when we're trying to think of an idea and we're just like, what do we do? I don't know. Then we come up with a good idea and say, oh, well, now kawachi. Now we're thinking. That would be a good place to say that. Well, now kawachi. I'm going to say that all the time, Randall, when we go to Brandon. When we're just not knowing what we're doing, lost, and we're confused. Then you come up with a real good idea. Then I come up with a real good idea. Say, oh, well, now kawachi. Now we're thinking. See, you got to put it in some kind of a scenario in order for you to bring meaning to it, right? Yeah. Yeah. Group huddles, think tanks, coming together, trying to think of ideas. That's this scenario here. Awachi B. Now they're thinking over there. A bunch of them are thinking awachi B. Awachi B. Awachi B. I noticed as we're going along, my writing is getting better and better and better. Awachi B. So it's almost like you can say on top of them they have wants and desires. It's kind of saying like that. It's not really. Awachami. It's like, shh, awachami. Shh, I'm thinking. Hanakawo. Yeah, just wait. Awachami. I'm thinking. Awachami. Awachami. All right. Awachi, to think. Awachami, I'm thinking. Awachani. Awachani, you're thinking. Awachani be. You and everybody else are thinking. Unkawachi. You and I are thinking. Unkawachi. You and I and everybody else are thinking. Awachi. All those ones are thinking over there. I'm happy people are thinking. By the way, like I think that's a very Dakota trait, and I know Uncle Ozzy would be a testament to this. You remember the days when you have a question for Uncle, and sometimes he'll put his head down, and then all of a sudden, 2, 3 hours later, he'll reply to you and message. He'll tell you. In the old days, they waited before they talked. Now we just blah, 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 just say whatever. We just kind of blurt it out. It's no wonder why we hurt each other with our words more, you know. Yeah, watch me. And I'll think about it first, and really before I tell you something. I remember that with Unkan. I'll ask him something, and I think he's ignoring me. He didn't even say anything. Then all of a sudden, about 2 hours later, he'll reply. So just remember, our grandpas had that wochi tanka, that patience. And they didn't want to just tell you anything, right? So they wanted to think about it, maybe even pray about it, wonder about it, and then they'll tell you something. So that's just a characteristic of our grandpas, is they thought long and hard before they said something. And also I heard a story of when they were deciding what to do for a war camp. They said the pipe went around many times before somebody actually spoke. And so they just waited and waited. Finally, somebody spoke. And so there was times like that when they're coming to a decision in the meeting. Nobody speaks right away because they really think about things before they say things. And it makes sense because they say once your words come out, you can't ever take them back, right? So you really want to say something really important. Oh yeah. Khahi. Khahi. The word for slow. Khahi. Yeah. Hey, everybody's gonna be saying this to their takojas and everything now. Like, hey, just khahi this one. Khahi. Khahi. Kha. 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 There's a little nose vibration here. Kha. Khahi. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good way. So now there's a little bit of pause there then, hey? He. He. So say your first, and then the he. He. Okay, all right. Say, oh man, that's why I love it when our elders are here. He. Slow. He. He. So in this situation, what you're going to say is first, take a little tiny break, just a little pause. He. 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 Woohoo! That's a challenging one there. He. He. Because I guess the temptation would want to be say, huh. That's the temptation, but we got to put a he. He. Holy man. Got to make a note on this one here. I'll remember, but I'm just going to make a little note. He. So whenever we write it like this, and then we write that little dot right here, like there'll be a dot on top to make it that sound, and then what is it, comma? Apostrophe, thank you. Apostrophe, a little apostrophe right here to tell you got to say that first. And so instead of saying he. He. Yeah. That's a very unique to Dakota when we say that. He. I guess you could do practice like that. Will Smith. My pen is giving out, so that means this is probably the last one. Mach-ahi. I am slow. It's laughing at me. Not that kind of slow. Pa Ed. Mach-ahi. So, Unka, this part here with this, what did they call it again? This little line? Apostrophe? This little apostrophe will be good. We'll go right here, hey? Mach-ahi. Mach-ahi, yeah. Right. Mach-ahi. Mach-ahi. Almost like you're saying ahi by itself in a way. Almost, right? Like almost like you're saying mach first. Mach-ahi. Mach-ahi. Man, geez, all these years I've been saying it wrong. Kushi never corrected me. That's why I always say, Kushi, correct me. If I'm wrong, she just loves me so much, you know. Sometimes they don't want to correct you. And say, oh, Shika, just don't say anything, Takesh. But I love to be corrected. I love to be corrected. Yeah. Mach-ahi. Mach-ahi. Man, I'm gonna practice that word all night now. Mach-ahi. Mach-ahi. Now we just have to do the nich. Nich-ahi. 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 So you're telling somebody they're slow. Hey, nich-ahi. Nich-ahi do. Yeah, de-ich-ahi. Ahi. 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 Man, all this time I didn't even know that one. So keep in mind, some of you out there, you might be saying words that might not be 100% true, and you're going to come to this moment way later. Gee, all these years I've been saying it wrong, but that's how it is. That's how it's going to be sometimes. Nich ahipi. Nich ahipi. You guys are all slow. It's funny saying some of these things. Jeez. Next hockey game, I'm gonna be yelling at my team saying that. Yelling in the crowd. Yeah. Ha- He's slow, that one. Yeah. 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 It's kind of not a nice thing to if you ever hear somebody say that. Yeah. 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 Might hurt their feelings. Nich ahipi. Nich ahipi. Nich ahipi. Nich ahipi. Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a sign of maturity. The more you can take teasing, the more you can get people tease you. The more you take it, that's a sign of growth, right? But when we're young, we get hurt over everything. Oh my gosh, you're just offended all the time. Just when we're young. Some of us are in our 40s, but we're still young. Ahi. Ahi. So I put that right there just to help me. Ahi. 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 Yeah, you're talking to one person. Think of your most Think of the most slowest person you know, and you're telling them that. Unchahi. 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 Yeah. Unchahi. You'll notice that, yeah, you'll notice Italians have a similar language. We fall. Unchahi. Unchahi. Sounding Italian. We should get an Italian to learn Dakota to see how he sounds. Oh, you got a badecte. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah. He has an Italian friend, talks Dakota like that. Oh, tu, ta badecte. Jeez. Yeah. Ahi. Ahi. You and I are slow. Jeez. Ahi. 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 Ahipi. Ahipi. Right there. Ahipi. Ahipi. So you and I, plus this one guy tagging along with us, we're slow. Or two or more. Or so you and I, plus, however, B means 2 or 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7 million more people. Ahipi. 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 I always say dramatize it real at the in the beginning. Ahipi. Then pull it together. Ahipi. Yeah. Ahipi. 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 Now they are slow. Ahipi. 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 Mach ahi. Mach ahi. Ich ahi. Nich ahipi. Nich ahipi. Ahipi. Ahi. Oh, geez, every time it gets tired, I start to mess up. That's how I know it's time to quit. Ahipi. It's a wrap. Yeah, yeah, a lot of us, yeah. 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 Ahi. 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 Ahipi. 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 All right, so there's our word for slow. Moving on, back to regular scheduled program next week, okay? Monday, Tuesday, we'll be back at it. And also, we do have some very, very loyal students that are coming here almost every week. And so we want to be able to, the program has some extra funds. They want to honor them and encourage them to keep coming to learn your language. So we have a sign-in sheet, and we all sign our names on there, And then your name will get thrown in a draw each time. And at the end of the month, you could score $100. Is it a gift card? It's a gift card. Where's it at? Oh, 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 gift card at Valley Village. No, it's yeah. He'll have a gift card. We don't know where it'll be, or a Visa card or something like that, just so you guys could, yeah, come down. And we're trying to encourage everybody to come as much as you can. And like I said, those of you guys that come here, when you guys are saying it out loud, you know, you really help me to. And even if just say it out loud, because even if it's wrong, that's okay. Just keep saying it, because then we'll keep working on it as we're going along until I hear you saying, "Oh yeah, that's right." You won't ever hear me tell you when it's wrong, but you'll hear me tell you when it's right, and I'll keep telling you, there, cape, yep, got it, like that, because we want to focus on that when things are good. So again, do as much as you can. All what we learn here, if you could be reading them over and over and over throughout the week, like I say, just memorize one little section of it. And then for this morning, I'm going to, during my shower or while I'm getting ready this morning, I'm going to practice this set right here, and over and over and over. And when you play or when you learn your language too, try to be really relaxed too, as calm as possible. And that's the best way that you're going to learn. So, but we're going to be, like I said too, for these next classes, I have not had a computer, but I know Randall has one, but we're going to try and get one going here, because I want to have pictures up here where we can practice our nouns next. Right. We'll check, yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And the elder was talking about wochek, you know, to have a prayer. Pray about these things. And definitely that's what I did too, is I prayed about these things. You would not believe. To my opinion, I think our ancestors are doing their best to encourage us to learn our language. And a lot of our grandpas say that it's easy. You know, when you go up into spirit world, that's all you're going to hear is Dakota. So eventually you're going to learn anyways. Eventually you're going to have to get to it, because spirit world, apparently the predominant language up there is Dakota. So something to consider. And what else was there? But anyways, yeah, just good vibes, good energy, and we'll keep learning as best we can, and keep pushing forward. I'm excited for all the things. And I know for today, man, just feel tired. You don't want to do anything. But if you, on those days, just do one thing, you know, just one word, and then at least that's you. We have that unstoppable mentality, right? Because there's times where you'll be like, you know what, I don't want to go learn language. We're just gonna feel that. We just got to fight that feeling and just keep pushing, anyways. And so yeah. Anyways, Taya, we learned that word earlier. Taya upo. Be well, everybody, tonight. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you guys on Monday.